A lot of people want to get a hold of me via email. If you absolutely feel you have to, it is my channel name at gmail.com. I don't look at it. It doesn't go on my phone. I don't get push notifications. I don't check it except very infrequently if I'm looking for something in particular, like some YouTube email or whatever. It's not a good way to get a hold of me. The best way to get a hold of me is to go into Bunny Boots, into his channel, his Discord channel, and you can right click on me and click message, and that would send a private message up in here. You could also, you don't have to download the Discord program. You could do it in your browser. So you don't have to install anything. Nice things about it is there is a public voice chat hangout. So if we ever do need to talk audibly, that is a potential. And I don't plan on ever doing live streams on my channel at this point. I have no intentions of it at this point. I'm not saying I never will. I'm saying I have no intentions of it at this point. So if there ever is going to be a live stream between you and me, whoever you are, it would be hosted by Bunny Boots, and it would be on his live stream voice chat. So yeah, my email is not a good way to get a hold of me, at least the email that I give you access to. It's my channel name at gmail.com. The best way is to go into Discord, Bunny Boots Inc.'s channel, and find me there. That out of the way, this comment from James Freeman, I've been stewing on it a couple days now. Well, since he wrote it, so a day and a half. He said, your videos are good at showing people what the masters want and expect from the slaves, and you're good at flipping through all the decrees of the king to find the king's rules, but I'm more concerned with what the rules should be rather than what the rules are. There are lots of problems with this particular statement. First of all, you're not a slave. The difference between what you call slaves and what you call masters in the United States is that masters are citizens who have run for office and have been elected. Slaves are people who haven't run for office or haven't been elected. So there's no real distinction between them. Yes, sometimes people get favorable treatment, but that's beyond the scope. That's a different subject. So yes, I am good at flipping through laws. There's no king, but I am good at flipping through laws. That's what lawyers do. We're good at reading and understanding the laws. That's what we get paid for. You're more concerned with what the rules should be than what the rules are. You need to know what the rules are to be able to make an intelligent case for what they should be. The rules are in place for a reason. You may disagree with them, but they are in place for reasons. Every rule has been made for a reason. And how good or bad that reason is subject to debate. Some rules have very shaky grounding. Some rules have very strong grounding. But you need to know what they are in order to know what they should be. And you need to know what the rules are so you know how to change them. I know it makes me look out of my gosh darn mind to believe our government isn't perfect and they have and still do make a lot of mistakes, many of which are intolerable. That's how I feel about it. Every adult that I've ever met does not believe the government is perfect and believes that the government makes a lot of mistakes. Congratulations, James. You found something that every adult agrees with. The U.S. form of government is not perfect, but it is possibly the best form of government that has ever existed. And it remains to be seen if there is a better one to be made. Are there tweaks that you can make to the government to make it better or worse? Absolutely. And people disagree on that. Should guns be outlawed or should they be completely unrestricted? There are people on both sides of it. Both think that one or the other side would make the government better. So who knows? It's very subjective. He says your stances are always the rulers made certain rules for us, and that's that. My stance is not that the rules are set in stone. My stance is that you need to know which rules basically are set in stone and which rules aren't. If you want to force the local police station to allow you to film in their lobby, it's very easy to do. You can just get an ordinance passed. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Or you could do a state law, or you could do the state constitution, or you could do a federal constitution amendment, or you could challenge it in court by being arrested for filming in the police office. You can challenge the First Amendment. You can challenge it based on the First Amendment, is what I'm trying to say. Lots of options for filming in the police station. Filming in a U.S. post office, a little more difficult because that's federal property. So city ordinance won't change it. State law won't change it. State constitution won't change it. In order to mandate filming in a post office, you could still try the get arrested approach. The Supreme Court's already held that post offices are limited forums. They can control when and who speaks at them. So your constitutional challenge is very weak, and I don't recommend you get arrested for it, but you're welcome to try if you want. The only other way to do it is to get a federal regulation changed. You can submit requests to the USPS to have them change the regulation, or you could petition your congressman or senator, your federal senator and congressman, not your state. But if you petition the representatives that you send to the United States Congress, or the senators you send to the United States Congress, to have them pass a statute requiring the post office to allow you to film, then you're done. You're good. Or again, a constitutional amendment. So you need a federal regulation change, you need a federal law enacted, or you need a constitutional challenge that the courts will uphold. Now, if you want to film in a courtroom, then you've got a long row to hoe. There are already Supreme Court decisions stating that due process and substantial justice all say that the court can restrict your ability to film. So the constitutionality has already been adjudicated. The First Amendment doesn't protect it, and the Fifth Amendment requires that judges restrict filming in the interest of justice. So you have one constitutional amendment that won't win for you, and another one that requires judges to restrict filming at certain times, subject to the discretion of the judge. That's a tough row to hoe. So if you get arrested for it, if you put yourself in a position where you're arrested for it and you try to challenge the constitutionality of that judge's restriction against you filming, 99.99999% chance you're going to lose. You're almost guaranteed to lose it. The Supreme Court doesn't allow filming in the Supreme Court. On a civil or a criminal case, they don't allow filming. If you think you're going to convince the Supreme Court that you have a constitutional right to film, I've got a bridge in Tucson to sell you. So you can't, in air quotes, can't challenge it on a constitutional level. Obviously, you can't do anything on a state level because the Fifth Amendment is going to prescribe the state from mandating that the judges allow you to film in the courts. The Fifth Amendment prohibits it. 14th Amendment says the Fifth Amendment applies to the states. States can't require judges allowing to film. So that's out. Federal statute, can't do it because, again, the Fifth Amendment. So you have to get a constitutional amendment in order to mandate filming in a court. You got to know what the rules are to know how to change them, James. This is why I keep telling you that what you're doing is stupid, because you don't understand the steps that you need to take to change it. I don't agree that we should have filming in courthouses, but I have told you explicitly why your approach to it is going to fail. You don't like that, and that's fine. But I'm not saying that the rulers made certain rules for us, so that's that. I'm saying that if you want to change it, how you have to do it is to get a constitutional amendment, which involves getting all the what, 2/3 of the House and Senate to vote for it, and then 3/4 of the states to ratify it. So you got a long road to hoe for filming in a courtroom. That's why the rules are important, James. You got to know what the rules are to know how to play the game. He says your stance has always been to question the rules and get others to look for themselves and question the rules also. That's fine. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. My goal, okay, so this is his goal. This is his stated goal. This is how ridiculous this is. My goal is to get people to ask what's right or wrong to do, rather than questioning what the king said they can or can't do. Those are two different things. One is what you should or shouldn't do. Your goal is to get people to question should and shouldn't, not to question what you can or can't. And you're going about this by showing what you can't do. You're getting arrested for filming in court. That's showing what you can't do. If you can't do it, then the question of whether you should or shouldn't do it really doesn't apply much. Is it moral to film in court? Is it immoral to film in court? Well, you can't film in court, so it doesn't matter. Is it moral to teleport? Is it immoral to teleport? You can't teleport, so it doesn't matter. Is it moral to shoot somebody, or is it immoral to shoot somebody? Well, now you can do that. I mean, you can't, but you can do it, but you can question on your rights and responsibilities and whether or not that particular action is justified or unjustified. You could apply your morality to it, etc. So I don't really think that you're working towards your goal, if that is in fact your goal. I would posit that it's not your goal because that's not what your actions are showing. Anyway, I've rambled on way too long. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.